Police in Austin, Texas are warning the public this morning to watch out for an apparent bomber on the loose. Investigators now say 3 package bombs, including 2 that exploded yesterday, are connected. Police say the case may be a hate crime. All the victims are Black or Hispanic.
The explosions happened within 15 miles of each other. Early yesterday morning, one blast killed 17-year-old Draylon Mason and injured a woman. About 5 hours later, another blast injured a second woman. 10 days earlier, the first attack killed Anthony Stephen House. David Begnaud is at the home targeted in that bombing. David, good morning.
Gail, good morning. So this is where Mr. House was injured in that explosion and later died. We came here because the police chief said if you go, you'll get an idea of what kind of damage was done by this bomb. And here's what we found. So the side wall right here, you can see the damage there. The door is boarded up. It's unclear if it was blown out. And neighbors told us they actually found shrapnel in this wall. In fact, the next door neighbor says there was shrapnel 75 feet from Mr. House's front door. And this is where he collapsed as his neighbor ran up to him.
He collapsed right there.
So about 3 feet in front of his front door.
About 3 feet in front of his front door.
Anthony Stephen House was bleeding from his face, had shrapnel in his chest, and both of his hands were nearly blown off. That's according to his neighbor, Sean Phillips, who was the first to reach him and try to save his life. Was the victim able to tell you anything?
No, he wasn't even responding to his name. His eyes were open, but he looked glazed over.
House's 8-year-old daughter was inside at the time. He died on March 2nd. Yesterday, 10 days after his death, police received reports of 2 more explosions. The first came at 6:44 a.m. Monday. A teenager was killed when he picked up a package and brought the bomb inside his kitchen. The second call was at 11:50 a.m. A 75-year-old woman was critically injured by a blast that happened on her porch.
This is not something that we have seen happen in our country for quite some time, and it's absolutely nothing that has ever happened in Austin.
Brian Manley, the interim police chief in Austin, says the explosives were disguised as packages left overnight near the victims' front doors. Did the packages explode when the persons picked them up or as they were walking up to them?
We have had packages that exploded when the victim picked that package up. We have also had one where the victim actually picked the package up, brought it into the residence and opened it up, and it exploded at that point.
The chief says these packages are not being mailed or coming from any official delivery service.
I've not seen anything that gives me reason to believe that this has links to terrorism at this point.
What about a hate crime?
We're keeping our focus as wide as possible so that we don't miss something by focusing too narrowly.
The chief has said to people, if you've got a package on your front porch that you don't think should be there, call us. Already 82 people have called in the last 12 hours. Now, John, the police have not said there's a relationship between any of the victims of these bombings. However, the Washington Post is reporting this morning that the stepfather of one of the victims is good friends with the grandfather of another victim. That's really the only connection that we've seen reported so far.
All right, David, everyone on edge in Austin. Thank you, David.